So here's how you go from booking like 1 to 2 appointments a day cold calling, or even zero, so not many at all, to booking well over 7, 8, 9, 10 appointments per day cold calling without actually doing more dials. Okay, without even doing any more dials, considering contingent on the fact that you're making around $200 a day right now. If you're doing that and you're not booking over at least 7 appointments, what I'm about to share with you in this video will fix exactly just that, like it did for one of my partners, Josh, who went from only booking a couple appointments to now booking over 8 appointments per $100. 8 appointments per $100. It's absolutely insane. His calendar is so flooded he can't even make calls anymore. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, and so the biggest switch that we had and that I worked with Josh on, and that we implement, and actually we're working with a lot of the guys I partner with right now to implement into their business and into their cold calling systems, is working on the pitch. You see, openers nowadays, there's so many good openers out there. All openers typically work as long as you're not idiot and saying something really stupid. As long as you make them laugh and it's quick and short, typically most openers will work and get you through, okay, which will get you to the pass through, which then brings you to the pitch, which is where most people drop off. And this is where I see people really, really, really struggle. And this is actually typically where you're losing out, okay? It's not on the pickup rate, it's not on the pass through, it's on the pitch. It's when you make them the offer, because that's when you get all the objections. That's when you get people saying, oh, I don't know, I'm busy, I can't talk right now. It's after you've pitched them, okay? And so how we actually want to change this pitch will actually lead us to not only have less objections, but also set us up so we can handle the objections better. And what that looks like is a couple different things, okay? The first big thing when it comes to actually making sure you can convert more appointments and actually just set more appointments on the phone is your tonality. Right? A lot of people think it's a script, and you're probably like saying, "Stefan, right now, please give me a script." I need a script. It's not the script, okay? I'll give you Kevin Hart's script right now. You can go stand on stage, okay, and you probably won't be funny at all. If we do laugh, it's probably because you sound like an idiot, but you won't be funny, and that's because the script doesn't make Kevin Hart good. Kevin Hart makes the script good. Okay, and that's because it's not about the script. It's the way you use the script. It's the way you say the script. It's the way that you interact. Okay, have you ever seen those movies where like some macho man said something really like cool, and you're like, damn, that sounded sick, and then you go try and say it and you sound like an absolute idiot? Once again, it's not about the words. It's about the delivery. It's about conveying. It's about how you say those words, okay? And so the biggest thing in actually making sure that we can book more appointments and where the drop-off is in our tonality. It's in the conviction in your voice. A lot of people, in all these calls I've reviewed over the past couple months, when they pitch, there's no conviction in their voice. They stutter, they have ums, ahs, they're just as confused as the prospect is. They can't, properly form a coherent sentence. There's so many awkward pauses, and what happens is the prospect thinks, wow, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not confident, he's not convicted, he doesn't know anything. I wouldn't want to work with this guy. He must not know what he's doing. And as a byproduct, they give objections because they don't want to say no because they're respectful and they don't want to just say no to your face, but they want to get off the phone. Okay, because you do not sound like someone that could help them. You see, in cold calling, there's really only 2 things we can do, and that is the words we say and how we say them. They can't see us, they can't, do it, we can't show them things. Your value is based off the words you say and how you say them. And therefore, there has to be a huge importance on these 2 things. And if you know anything about communication, 80-20 rule. It's 20% what you say, 80% how you say it. Okay, and so on the phone, all they can really hear is, well, does this guy sound confident? And if you don't sound confident, of course you're not going to book any meetings, because nobody wants to do business with someone that isn't confident in themselves. And so we have to work on our tonality. Okay, and this is what I'm huge on with the guys I work with, is our tonality. Right, it is our conviction on the phone. When we call someone, do we sound like we're someone that they can trust and actually, invest their time into? Or do we sound like another Joe Schmo calling them trying to steal their money? I was actually on Instagram the other day watching this guy, I forget his name, cold call from Australia. And his script literally went something like this. He's like, "Oh, mate, is this John?" The guy was like, "Yeah, this is John." He goes, "Hey, John, how you doing, mate? How you doing today?" He said, "Hey, I'll just say it to me, hey, it's Stefan here, calling from Indie Creative. How you doing today, mate?" And the guy was like, "Oh, good. He goes, "Yeah, reason to call him, just trying to say some SEO shit." And the guy kind of like laughed and giggled. He's like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Listen, man, I'll be honest, okay? You've heard every script 1,000 times, okay? So I'm just going to cut straight to the chase. We do it better than anyone else." Why was the thumbs up on my screen? What is this? What is going on? Why is this in my Loom video right now? All right. Anyways, if you're watching this video right now, I love you. Okay, cool. Anyways, and then after that, he said, "Listen, man, You've heard the same script 1,000 times. No point in trying to say something fancy. I'll just go straight to the point. We sell some SEO shit. We do it better than anyone else. I'm happy to share it with you. And then the guy said, are you currently looking into SEO? He was like, no, not really. And he goes, why is it on the back burner? The guy was like, what? He's like, why is it on the back burner? Is it not, not something you're at full capacity or not something you really believe in? And the guy's like, oh, it's just not something we really believe in. And then he was like, and then he shared a case. He's like, oh, well, I just started working with John, who's a painter down in Sydney, whatever the fuck, and we got him 150 new leads over the last month, and this is all data I can happily share with you. I can send this all over with you and share all this all with you. And he asked another question and then booked the call, okay? But the point is, from the outside looking in, that script would look bad. It's like, wait, what? He's telling them he's selling some SEO shit. That's the second thing he said. What? But the way the guy delivered the message with so much conviction, with so much confidence, made the guy think like, damn, like, this guy does sound like the best. He's not trying to hide what he's doing. He just gets straight to the point, and he's talking with this almost passionate conviction to the point where I want to believe what he's saying. Sure enough, the guy booked a call. And then this guy recording the video then was like, hey, the only reason why I booked the call is because I just had confidence. Okay? Because I just had confidence. On the phone, there's nothing else. Right? They can't see you, so you can't, even if you're sexy, it doesn't matter, right? All they can do is hear you. And if they hear stutters and ums and ahs and pauses and uncertainty in your voice, they will associate that with this guy's nervous, therefore he probably hasn't done this before, therefore he probably doesn't have a lot of clients, and therefore he probably really needs me. Right? When you see those macho men at the bar talking to girls, you always wonder, how do these guys get all the girls? It's because they don't give a fuck. They don't care about what they're saying and whatnot. Right? They just kind of be them. And as a byproduct, the girls can sense that aura, and they want what they can't have. Right? And so when you're calling, when you display this aura of neediness, of I need you, and you're like, oh, please book a call. Could we? People are like, I don't want to do business with you. You need me. And people don't want to work with people that need them. They want to work with people that they want them. Right? And so we got to flip the power dynamic, right? Of like, hey, I don't need you. I'm fucking well off. And you can only do that with this undeniable conviction and competence in your tonality on the phone, right? And once you can do that, then you can also handle objections so much better. Because now when they say like, oh, I need to think about something, like, no, you can't think about it. You clap back right away. Like, you can even, if you had the confidence or you said, dude, what do you think about? That's what the purpose of the call is for us to chat. Right? No one thinks and has no questions. You're going to have questions. So let's book in the call. There's no obligation to buy, but just 20 minutes of my time where I can answer questions with you. Okay? After that, fine, go think about it. Right? But at least have the information so you know what you're thinking about in the first place. If you have the correct tonality, you can get away with handling objections like that. As a matter of fact, the higher echelon of person that you call, the more they will respect you as well. Because they respect people that are direct and to the point. Imagine calling Jeff Bezos and being like, hey, is this Jeff Bezos? He's like, yeah, what's up? Oh, hey, I was just wondering if you could possibly help me out for him. He's going to hang up. Be like, dude, I'm busy. Time is money. And so the higher echelon of person that you call, the less time they have, and so the more they appreciate this directness. Okay? And the higher echelon person you call, the more of a businessman they are. A businessman just want to talk money and get to the point. So if you have something that will help them, and you sound like someone that can help them, they'll talk with you. Right? And so the biggest reason why you're not booking as many appointments as you should, okay, is likely because, one, your pitch sucks, and two, your delivery sucks. Right? There's two different sort of funnels we can go down, which is your messaging sucks, which most people have pretty good messaging, right? And then the next logical thing is your tonality sucks. Right? You sound like someone that people wouldn't want to do business with. And so how you can go about fixing this, right? Let's get to that point now. Instead of just telling you the problem, I'll actually tell you how to fix this. The first way is you've got to track your data so you know where the problem comes up. Okay, that's the very first thing. So you can actually see, like, okay, where in the cold call is most of my problems? Is it in the opener? Is it in the pass-through? Is it in the pitch? Is it in the objection handling? Is it in the conversion? Is it in the expectations handling? Where is the drop-off? Okay. Once you know where the drop-off is, you need to record your calls. You need to review your calls back. And ideally, you need to get someone who knows what they're doing to review your calls for you. Okay. Because if you're just sitting there by yourself, you only have limited context on your situation. So ideally, you get someone to review your calls for you. But if you're by yourself and you don't want to invest in guidance and mentorship and whatnot, that's totally fine. You can do this alone as well. It'll just be a lot more, it'll take you a lot longer time to be a bit more difficult. It's totally fine, right? And so what you want to do is you want to review your calls. And specifically, you want to review your calls for the portion of the data that is where you have the biggest drop-off in people on the phone. And you want to watch it back and see why. And ask yourself, if I was the client, if I was the prospect, right, Would I stay on the phone? Would I say yes? And if the answer is no, ask yourself why. And then watch the calls, watch the calls, watch the calls, watch the calls, and review. And then once you review, and you take some notes, you have an idea of what's wrong, go search the internet, right? Or go ask your mentor or your partner or your coach, your consultant, or whoever it may be, and ask them for some advice. Ask them if they can watch the call and give their input, right? Ask for their 2 cents, and then go research. And once you research and you have some ideas on what you can do to change it, right, which is probably what led you in the first place, you're trying to fix your cold calling. Now, once you've learned this, go and implement. So now go try the new strategies, right? Go implement them, track the new data, review the calls again. It's a cycle that never ends. It continues on forever and ever and ever, but this is how you progress, right? This is the feedback loop. And a lot of people don't actually understand it, but the reason why they're not good at cold calling is they don't actually care to improve. They do a lot of hours. I once even knew these guys who made like $500 a day, yet they still sucked after weeks of doing it. Why? Because they never reviewed their calls. They never tried to get better. They never watched videos. They never asked for feedback. They never did any of that stuff. They just did the calls thinking if I did enough volume, eventually I'll get lucky enough. But that's not how it works. You got to train, right? You can't just show up every single day and just shoot the basketball. At some point, you're going to have to get a coach. You're going to have to get somebody to train you. You're going to have someone give you feedback and help you out with their form and whatnot, right? You're going to need that external source. And because otherwise, if you don't have that, you'll never know what's wrong, right? You may be shooting for what you think is fine. Someone else that's watching you shoot is like, hey, that's wrong. But you wouldn't know that if you didn't have someone else there, okay? And so, if right now you're really struggling, right, you're only booking a couple meetings, right, per 200 hours, and you want to get to the point where you're actually more efficient with your time, you're more effective with the things you're doing, this are the steps you have to take. And like I said, more often than not, it's your conviction, it's your tonality. Think about it. On the phone, all they hear, they can't see you, right? They can't see you. All they can do is hear you. And so if you sound like a pussy, if you sound like an idiot, of course no one's going to want to book. Okay, the most important thing, not just in cold calling, but in sales in general, is your tonality, is the way you speak with people, right? It's the way you can communicate, because it says so much more than anything your words can, right? Like, anyone can say the words, I'm confident. Anyone can say the words, anyone can say those words, anyone can say any word. But few can say it and have people believe it. Few can. And that's where tonality comes in. And that's where nonverbal cues and all these other subtle communication styles start to come in. Right? That isn't just your words. And that's why the script doesn't really matter. I guarantee you right now, if I cold called with your exact script, I could book more meetings than you. I can promise you that. Guarantee you that. Okay? Because it's not about the script. Okay? It's about you as a person. Okay? It's about you as a person. So, I hope that can give you a bit of insight onto why you're not booking as many calls as you want and how to fix that. Right, and what you should be looking for. But the biggest thing I urge all of you to do is record your calls, track your data, and get somebody to review your calls for you. Okay, simple as that. If you want that to be me, you can click below, we can chat. Right, if you want it to be someone else, that's totally fine. Just, I don't care. You need to get somebody to review your calls. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time. Okay, so hope that this quick 13 minutes here can kind of give you some advice and kind of help you out and kind of point you in the right direction. And you can take that to go out there and make some more money. So, that being said, enjoy your day. Go enjoy the sunshine if it's sunny where you live. And go make some damn money.